It's getting there. We are live. Good
Awesome.
morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Leslie. How are you?
I'm I'm great. And then of course we can see that there may be a delay with comments, but we'll see what
There will be.
happens.
There always
Hopefully
is.
we're not talking, yeah, hopefully we're not talking to ourselves. I don't think so.
There's
Um
two of us.
exactly. So I know, during this like early time when we're getting started, I do see a comment. So that's a good news that
That's
we're
a good
probably
sign. Yep,
live.
here they come.
So while we're waiting for everyone to come on, I thought let's repeat that habit of celebrating a small win, of something that might have happened during the past month or the past week. Do you have something to share?
Oh yeah, sure. So I actually just announced this, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I'm very bad at time frames. We are starting the process for Letters to Lily Volume 2. So that's my soft pitch of saying if anybody wants to contribute a letter to the new edition, please see the post that I did a few days ago or send me a DM and I'll tell you what you need to do.
And let me just like 1000% endorse it where please, if you have anything that you could share like with your younger self, please write the letter. You will just love the process and also the experience that happens after the book. So I
Oh,
highly recommend it.
thank you.
Well,
And
I
what's
have
your
something.
win? Yeah.
So, like about a week ago, I arrived home late, lots of traffic issues and things like that. And I was exhausted and I thought, oh, I really should check my mailbox. And I hesitated for a second. I'm like, no, I need to check the mailbox. And how happy was I to check my mailbox because the only thing in it was this adorable postcard with a lovely note from Melissa delivering joy. I smiled
Well,
so much. Who
thank
couldn't
you.
smile at a postcard? Look how cute that
Snoopy.
is.
Snoopy and ice cream.
And it's really frameable. That's what I love about it. It is
Oh,
adorable. I love
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. It really, and it's so appropriate for the conversation we're going to have today. But before we do that, I do see that a lot of people have arrived. So if you've seen any messages, let me know. I'm gonna start Oh, and look, Lynn, we were talking about you before we went live, and here she was, the
All
first
good
comment.
things. Yes.
Yay. Welcome, Lynn. We're glad you're here. And look who's next. I'm just gonna go in order. Yay. Good morning, sunshines. Well, I don't know about where Melissa is, but I'm glad we're bringing sunshine because there's no sunshine around me. It was just raining.
No, you will actually see a comment from Steven in a little bit that he is in cloudy New York. And yes, I am in cloudy New York too.
Oh, Kimberly Arnold is here. It's so good to see you.
Maybe
And I'm
Kimberly.
sure she probably has sun. They always have sun. Oh, and look who else. Yay, Glenna. Happy summer Friday from Philly. We're so glad you're here. And we're glad that you're connected because I know sometimes there's some glitches on with you seeing our lives. Here he is. Hello, Stephen. Oh, so many favorites. You're all our favorites. Um, Rich Keller, your one word, hello, love it. I hear you, lovely ladies. Yeah, welcome, Carlos. I love all these early risers who don't mind waking up a little early or getting involved a little early.
I know. I don't
Another New Yorker.
think getting involved.
Hey, Nick. Oh, and yay. Another one from Southern, like sunny California. I'm not sure she's in Southern California, but I know she's in sunny California. And am I missing? Oh, yep. We have someone. Hello, Lorena. We're so glad you're here. And I'm so glad someone's here from Toronto, Canada at the moment. We have to guess who it is because we can't see you. So the next time you put a comment, if you could please just say who it is so we can say hello directly. Have I missed it? Yeah. Oh, I don't want to forget Rhonda Deb. Yay. From the longest distance right now. We'll see what happens during the show. So we might as well get started. People are starting to arrive, and I know there are people who are there, but not necessarily saying hello yet in the comments.
We
So we
we
hope you will.
we do have one more hello I want to acknowledge, which is our friend Meryl.
Oh, hello,
I'm
Meryl.
very disappointed because apparently in a clubhouse room, Meryl took the stage and I missed it. So one of these
I
days,
did hear about that.
I'm going to get to hear Meryl, not just see his comments, but we're super happy you're here.
Oh, thank you for saying it. Now I found it. Yay. We're
And
really glad you're here. And thank you for always promoting our show. We really appreciate it. And frankly, I appreciate you promoting so many lives because I've seen some great ones
yes,
because they land in my DMs. Oh, and someone else we really have to say hello to.
yeah.
Hello, Jason. We're so glad you're all here. For everyone else who's going to start arriving, we will say hello to you. But we do want to get started, so I'm going to do that. Change the banner. So, welcome to our new viewers, our returning viewers, and we don't want to forget Team Replay. And if you hear a loud noise in the background, someone has decided to mow the lawn as we start the show. So hopefully my
I don't hear
sound,
it. I don't hear
good. I'm
anything.
glad you're not hearing it because it's loud on my end. So this is Let's Talk About It, Careers, Business, and LinkedIn, episode 32. Did they feel good after meeting with you? And I can't wait to talk about it. Meanwhile, I'm just going to point to this QR code in the corner. That's if you're having an issue on LinkedIn, go to the link in this QR code. It'll take you right to our YouTube Live, which is the same show. So let's introduce ourselves. Melissa?
Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Cohen. I am here in cloudy New York City. I am a personal branding and LinkedIn strategist. I work with founders, executives, business owners, and their teams who want to leverage LinkedIn for personal and business growth. And I'm also a speaker and an author. And I'm super excited to have this conversation with Leslie and with all of you.
Me too. So I'm Leslie Nydick. As many of you know, I talk and post about managing conflict, and that includes communication and negotiation. And as many of you have realized or will realize, communication has many layers. And during today's live, I am just so looking forward to talking about some of those layers and the related nuances, because I think it's something we can really manage intentionally more often. So let's check in to see who else arrived. And then we have a viewer question. And I do see some new arrivals, or probably people all talking to each other, which we adore. Here's someone
Yes.
hello, Leanna. Oh, thank you for showing up. We really appreciate it. Lots of hellos going back and forth. Oh, wait, we have another hello. Oh, Melissa Houston, we're so glad you're here. So let's get started with this viewer question. I am really interested in hearing what people think. And then, of course, I'll share the stats. So please put your best guesses in the comments and let me read the full question. What percentage of the conversation do people forget an hour after meeting and talking with you? So let me repeat. What percentage of the conversation do people forget an hour after meeting and talking with you? Melissa, what's your best guess?
I mean, that's a super interesting question. I think it can depend if you met in person or not. I think that would have
Right.
an interesting impact, but I'm going to say they forget 30%. within an hour. Totally guess.
Okay. And let's see. I'm gonna post some of them up if you see some of them because a lot of them are the comments are flying by, which we love.
I see
I'm going
Melissa
to
Houston with 75%. That makes me feel better about my 30. I see 75.
70. That's interesting. And of course I see. No, I'm
I
trying to
see
get rid of.
I
Oh,
see a
now I'm getting it.
42, 85, 90. Wow. Okay. I think I was too low. The closest one to me so far is 42. There's Eden in my corner, 20.
Oh, here, you know what? All of a sudden, a bunch more started popping in. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's always so interesting when we
Yeah.
experience that because I'm going to go back and see. So 90%, 85% forgotten. Rana Deb said probably in 2 hours' time, and I'm guessing that he means like that we're going to forget all of it within 2 hours, which is an interesting point because I do have a secondary stat to share when I share the answer. Eden said 20%. She has a lot of confidence in people.
She's just trying to make me feel
27%.
better.
Jane said 27%. Kimberly said 67%. Carlos said 70%. Nick said 85%. And then let me read some of these. Melissa said, I feel like there are a few ideas we can truly capture, and the rest is filler. That could be an important part of our conversation today. And and Stephen definitely made the point of if we're talking about in person,
Yeah.
so 1/3. And then Lorena said 50%. Oh, and there's a few more guesses, and then I'll share. Um, and I just saw hello to Lisa, and I must have missed her hello. So, but hello, Lisa. I'm going to try to bring it up on the screen. Here it is. Hello. Happy Friday. We're so glad you're here. And then Rana Deb added 50 to 60%. We've got hellos back and forth, which we love. It's we really should consider this. I feel bad for all of us if it's
Yeah.
really more than 50%. That's a great comment.
And it might be.
And then Meryl guessed 80%. And then I think that's the guesses that are coming up. So here goes. People forget about 50% of the conversation within an hour. And then the added on one is within a few days, they've forgotten 70 to 90% of what we said. It really makes you think, or maybe rethink, like how to manage conversations if that much is not being retained. And we're going to definitely get to the points that some people raised. But yeah, we have to feel bad, like Eden said, because it's 50% or more is forgotten. And then, okay, what's the purpose of talking? So we're going to get into it. And first, I'm sure most of us know this quote, and it really is the base or foundation of the conversation today. It's by Maya Angelou. And I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So, with that, Melissa, my question to you is what influences how you feel about someone after meeting with them?
Yeah, so again, it's going to depend a little bit, I think, whether it's a virtual meeting or an in-person meeting. But I think regardless, how much of their attention are they giving me? Right? I think we've all had conversations with people where you
Yes.
can tell they're distracted, right? And I'm guilty of this too sometimes. We all can be, but are they paying attention to what you're saying? Are they actively listening? Right? And actively listening is very different than just listening. But are they looking at their phone? Are they looking at their watch? Are they, watching for somebody else that's supposed to join? What are their distractions? If I feel that the person that I'm speaking with is not really paying attention to me, that's not a great feeling.
Yeah. And interesting you bring up paying attention. Someone might be paying attention, but how they convey it through their facial expressions could make you feel like they're not, especially if you don't know them. If you've gotten to know them, hey, I know someone who just, if they're looking in the other direction, they actually are paying attention to me because visually they can't look at stuff when they're listening to actively listen. And that was another great point that you brought up, the active listening, because when I'm teaching or training, I say to most people will say, "Oh, I always actively listen." I said, "Were you exhausted after just listening to me for 5 minutes?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "You probably weren't actively listening." Active listening takes a lot of energy, right? And you feel almost drained after it if you're doing it well, because it's easy for us to get distracted. So, I really remember after meeting with someone, it is the feelings more than the words. And another statistic to back that up, that there really is science behind that because 93% of how we interpret what someone's saying is nonverbal. It's the person's body language, the facial expressions, and the tone of their voice. So, really, our feelings matter a lot when we're meeting with someone, what we remember. So, that's why that Maya Angelou quote really stands out. I think the other point that I've noticed with people I meet with and how I feel afterwards is their follow-up. If there's not a follow-up, the feelings kind of just start to dissolve. Um, or maybe it means like, oh wow, they didn't get anything out of the conversation. So, and that's okay. So even a quick follow-up, just like a quick text where someone might write, that point you made about whatever it was, the event we were at, really left an impression on me. End of story. Great. Look forward to talking to you again soon. I'll remember that because it's just it almost keeps the connection going, I guess, the after communication.
Definitely.
So when we feel like our time together mattered, it feels good.
Exactly. And I see some chatter in the comments. It might be a different scenario if it was more of a business conversation,
Yes.
a sales conversation, a personal
Yes.
conversation, right? That nuance matters because if it was a business conversation or a sales conversation, from a business standpoint, you should absolutely follow up. And you also might do it in a different way, right? Because there's that sort
Yes.
of line between good follow-up and annoying follow-up, right? We've all gotten the annoying follow-up, right? And
Yes.
you want to be on the side of helpful follow-up because sometimes people really do want to continue that conversation or that potential of working together and they just get busy, right? We all get busy, life is
Yes.
busy, and sometimes that reminder is really appreciated.
Yes. But great point. I think so the context of what someone thinks the meeting is almost also leads us like down a different path or journey of how we're going to feel about the meeting. And we can say the ones that are bad. Someone says, "Oh, I'd love to chat with you just to get to know you." And then you realize that whole 20 minutes you were meeting with them, they're just selling you
Yep.
something and or digging to see if you will buy it or need it, etc. And to, well, that might have been okay. Maybe I even want your service, but you set me on a path. You created this foundation that I thought we were just having chit chat, getting to know each other. Hey, where have you worked? Where do you live? Where do you travel? Just having that kind of get to know you conversation. And the switch makes it almost more bothersome.
Yeah, it feels disingenuous. I think that's important, right? I think you have to be very truthful and very genuine in what is the point of the conversation, right? If it's a sales pitch, that's fine. Just be upfront about it.
Yeah.
Don't hide it
Yes.
under the guise of, oh, I want to get to know you. And then the minute you get on the call, all of a sudden you're getting a sales pitch, right? That doesn't feel good.
Yes. No. And had they said, listen, I want to pitch you some business, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll hear it out. And maybe if I don't need it, I'll be like, oh, there might be someone I know, or I'm going to keep you in mind. I'm going to still leave the conversation feeling good because what they told me their intention was achieved. But if you tell me your intention is to get to know me and you change it in the middle, now you've broken the trust, really.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
So there's some great comment. I'll pick one out, and if you see a comment, we'll pull that up next. Carlos said, I always think, what is the one point I would like this person to leave with when we're done?
Yeah, I like that.
Yes. It's almost like planning a conversation. Just because we called it a conversation, think of it like a meeting, just like you have an agenda and keep to the outline. I love that point. Uh, and tell me if I missed any. I think here, I'll just pull up the next one I saw. Uh, Conversations going back and forth, so I probably missed part of it. So Jason must have said something. I'm rethinking many conversations I've had with people. I think I'm pretty memorable. Eden, you are memorable.
You think you're memorable too. Exactly. Actually, Eden left another comment that I really like, which is there's always a chance we encounter the difference between what we say and what others hear. And I think that's a great point, right? Goes back to
Absolutely.
other conversations we've had, right? Are you being clear in what you say? And are you really expressing the message that you're intending to share? I think that's a great.
And I I sometimes forget to follow my own advice, but one point I always say is we should assume that as often as we are communicating, we probably are miscommunicating. And it's because I know what I'm saying through my eyes, through my experience, and the other person's got different experiences. So, I consider it's back to that thing a long time ago with the dress where it was blue or gold, or some people saw both.
Yes.
We really we listen with our eyes as well as our ears. So it really depends on what's going on, and if someone's in a good mood that day, and or if something great happened to them that day, it's going to change how they interpret what you say. So that happens all the time. I'm
Absolutely.
going
We
to
also
pull up.
oh, sorry, go ahead, Leslie.
Please go ahead. You see,
We had a question that I thought was interesting, and I'm going to assume, which we all know we shouldn't do, but I'm going to assume that this was sort of taken into account in the overall general answer. But for folks who are neurodivergent, do those numbers change? And I don't know if we know the answer to that.
I don't. I would think yes,
Yes.
and not necessarily higher or lower. I think it's just different. And based on I'll look at that study. I don't think they identified
Right.
anything about the people other than a broad spectrum of people from across the country. And it was US, not, it was US based study. So interesting. Yes, that's something to think about always, that each of us are on a spectrum of how we listen, how we communicate, and it's different. And I think that's a key thing to remember, that whatever you're saying and assuming what it means, assume the other person is interpreting it differently. And that's where we have to have a lot more questions and answers kind of conversation. I'm going to just pick out, there's something here that's interesting. Lynn said my percentage was in person in a public setting like a restaurant. Again, we all have a different perspective of how we were answering. Over video conference allows me to take notes. Sometimes I follow up on LinkedIn.
So
Definitely.
I definitely want to say something about taking notes, right? So I find that that is really good for me personally. and I believe there's been studies on this, right? When you write things physically with
Yes,
your pen or pencil, it really keeps it top of mind, right? And so
yes,
now we have all these AI note takers. And I almost think they have the opposite effect because it makes
yes,
us kind of lazy and it makes us think, well, I'll just go back and look at the notes later. And people think that
yes.
it's going to make us remember better, but it's actually the opposite, in my experience.
I'm with you, and I'm sure there's people that they have a different experience, but for those who use for those who've used the note taker with me, that I do find that they're not listening as much. That's my feeling, not absolute, but I can tell by the follow-up conversations, and they're relying on these notes. And the volume of notes that they have, of course, they're not going back to all the notes. They have too much note taking to go look at. So I'm with you that sometimes I'll just listen during depending on what type of meeting, just listen. And then as soon as the meeting is over, I start writing down some notes. And I don't always have to look at them ever again because the fact I wrote them
Yes,
improves my memory.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Great point. So I be of course the half hour is going quick. So I want to get to this next question because this may have been more what people were looking for. So while my computer is acting funny, I'll leave the old banner up, but I'm going to ask the question to Melissa. What are some of the things we can do so people feel good about meeting with us afterwards?
Yeah. So, it's kind of the flip side of some of the things that we've talked about, right? Pay attention to the other person, right? Make eye contact, even if it's over Zoom, right? Look at your camera, look forward, don't be having a Zoom conversation like this. Actually look at the person who's speaking. And a good one for me is ask questions, right? Be curious.
Yes.
Show that you actually want to learn something about the other person, even if it's a sales call or a business call, right? Find out a little bit about the person. What do they like to do? What are they doing for the summer? What are you doing for the 4th of July holiday if you're in the United States, right? Ask questions to show that you're curious.
You know what? You can never go wrong with being curious.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's even separate from this conversation, going to a networking event and you're feeling a little anxious, just remember ahead of time, oh, I'm just going to walk around being curious, like being an explorer,
Yeah.
finding out why other people decided to come to this event. It's just the same thing in an everyday conversation. Sometimes we get too comfortable with the people we know and we kind of lose that curiosity because we think we know everything about them. So something that from work has also helped me personally. When I think about like when I've worked with my clients, obviously they're usually very uncomfortable because it's usually
Right.
about conflict. They may be in a conflict or they want to talk about it, and it's just uncomfortable. So I to help relieve some of the anxiety before we ever even meet, I will give them a little information about what to expect. First of all, I'll say we're all always nervous when we're approaching this kind of meeting. I'll let them know like how long the meeting is, what to expect, a little bit about format, because sometimes that, relieves some of the tension. And of course, I'll reinforce that everyone will have time to tell their story.
Yeah.
And it's just a way of building trust with people I don't really know yet, or maybe I do know them and I have to keep on building that trust. And that's helped even just with anyone I'm meeting with, maybe not in the same way. I don't have to be so formal, but just that little thing. Hey, remember when we meet, like we're going to meet for an hour, or it just relieves whatever anxiety someone might have. And then when it comes to networking or meeting with colleagues or friends, I've learned, and I think this has already come up already in the comments, stories connect us. And of course, there's a statistic I'd like to share. Stanford research shows that people remember your stories 63% of the time. Frankly, I thought it would be higher than that, but they only remember the data 5% of the time. So remember, people love leading with their data, like especially if it's a sales businessy call, or even at a meeting where you're presenting your project. People lead with the data, and it's like, no, no, lead with the story because the
Storytelling,
data they're not going to remember.
always.
Um, and it's just back to people won't remember what they heard, but they're going to remember what they felt about it.
Yes. I love that.
So I know we're like a little past the end, but I can't bear not to go through some of these comments. And then, so I hope everyone will indulge us for a few extra minutes this time
Well, there's
because this
one I
is
have
too,
to ask you, Leslie, because I love it so much. Is that
what?
okay?
Yeah.
Melissa Houston, a fun question I ask new people is their favorite Sesame Street character or favorite cereal? Leslie, what is your favorite Sesame Street character and cereal? I'm dying to know.
Oh, oh, cereal, I can answer it hands down. I do not eat it anymore, but it's still my favorite. Fruit Loops. It's like from when I was little. I have, of course, there's stories around why I love Fruit Loops, and I really only want it if it's in those little boxes that you can sometimes
Oh my
buy, like the
goodness.
one
Yes.
serving
Like
box.
the one
So
serving.
it has to do with my sleepaway camp days, but that's what I love.
I love it.
Sesame Street. Oh, you know what? I don't have a favorite. I really love them all. I mean, maybe Cookie Monster because I love cookies.
There you go.
How about you?
My favorite Sesame Street character is 100% Cookie Monster because cookies, and he's blue.
Yes,
And my
look,
favorite
blue.
cereal, exactly. You can tell I'm still 4 years old in my heart. My favorite cereal will forever be Lucky Charms.
Oh, that was always a good one. I love that. Oh, there are so many good comments in the good comments in the comments.
Comments.
Uh, so I can't wait to get into those. That's what everyone knows about this show, that the best part of this live stream is the growing community in the comments. My favorite part to see is the conversation between everyone. So continue it because we're going to get there later and through the weekend. Um, any final thoughts, Melissa?
I am just so excited to have seen so many friends here. When we catch up on the comments, which we will throughout the day, we will definitely see what else we missed. I want to give a shout out to Anne Elliott, who is 35,000 feet in the air in turbulence and had no audio and was still participating. Um,
Oh,
we're so appreciative of all of you who spend this half hour with us. So, this show is only fun because you guys are here, and we are grateful for you.
ditto. Thank you, everyone, and have a great Friday.
See you next month.